Welcome, Michel, to Metallarium Pages. It's a great pleasure to talk with you about this new album, Emergent, about the Autarkh, and more things related to the metal world. So this is the second time we spoke. The first time we spoke in the past for the first album, Form Emotion, but at that time we spoke on a written interview, just at that time. Now we spoke again for then a face-to-face interview. So we started by asking how was band been how was the band been during the last 2 years, no? Because your last album or your first album was released during at the end of the pandemic. Now we have a new album, Emergent in Common.
Yeah, so we released the first one in March 2021, and that was still in periods of partial lockdowns, and we started to play some shows, and a lot of them in that year were seated shows, so we tried to do what we could when it comes to playing live, but it was kind of hard. A lot of stuff got canceled, and some of our shows got canceled too, but we managed to play some. And yeah, then after a while, of course, we wanted to proceed and make another album, and that is now about to be released. It's called Emergent, and we try to, on Form in Motion, we were kind of figuring out our sound, because it was a new, for us, a new idea to see how the type of electronic beats could be combined with the more extreme metal sound that we were trying to achieve. And it has become quite a dense and intense album. So for this record, we wanted to try and create a bit more of a transparent sound, even though the music is still quite layered, there's still a lot going on, but we try to manage a bit more transparency. And also a big difference from the first one is that our other guitar player, David, wrote a lot of the songs as well. So it's more of a band effort now, and more of a collaboration, where as opposed to the songs on Form in Motion, or most of them being, songs that were originally written for the third Dodecahedron album, my former band.
Okay, no.
So yeah.
Okay, interesting to know about things about this new album. So I remember when we spoke in 2021 about From the Foreign Damnation, and I asked you about this about the Autarkh was a continuation of the Dodecahedron. So and well, 2 years passed from the first album, and now you have a different approach from the Dodecahedron has in the past, or had in the past. So do you still think the Autarkh is a continuation of Dodecahedron, or perhaps is this a new beast with the new musicians, etc.?
Well, in a way, it is still a continuation of that, because we like to, look back on ideas that were already there, and in certain situations try to, reinvent them. I don't know if you saw that video that we released last week online, but it's where I try to explain a little bit about how we sometimes reimagine existing musical ideas. For instance, with the final song on Emergent called Ka, the main beat and the riff is based on a song of the second Dodecahedron album. It's called An Ill-Defined Air of Otherness. So ideas keep recurring, ideas from the past. They find their way into also the new Autarkh music. Also our the singer from Dodecahedron that passed away, Michel. I try and see how, if it's doable to, you know, keep his legacy alive a little bit, also through kind of defining his words into the Autarkh context. Sometimes I borrow words or sentences from him that he wrote. So there are things in there that reflect back on what has been in the past, but there's also, of course, a new angle and a new way of doing things for us. So we keep evolving, but never without, you know, looking back also on what has been there already.
Okay. Okay. Well, talking about from the well now, a huge inbound, a huge success for the band is that you are releasing the first and this new album through Season of Mist. It's a great label around the world, especially for the metal label in general. So how was the first approach to the Season of Mist at the beginning with Autarkh? Because well, or perhaps, or how was the approach? And in perhaps it has to do with Dodecahedron was released the last album, Witnesses with them, no?
Yeah, that's right. Well, you know, Michael from Season of Mist, he has quite a number of bands, and some of them are quite big. You know, some of them grow big, like Heilung, for instance. And he also dedicates time and energy to the bands that he, you know, are categorized under the underground activists division of Season of Mist. So that shows that they are invested also in what happens among smaller bands or more in the underground. And of course, it helps that we have already been collaborating for over 10 years, you know, with Dodecahedron 2 albums. But I was also in a band called Exvius, and they released the second album of Exvius as well. But, you know, when a new band emerges, he will first have to check it out. You know, if he doesn't like it, then he's not going to release it. However, he liked I think we made 2 demos of the songs that were going on Form in Motion, and he liked what he heard, so he decided to offer us, you know, a spot on the roster and release the debut album. And you know, we continue from there. So they are doing the second one now as well. And I think yeah, I think I mean, we are not, you know, a large band yet, so he is taking a risk there because it's maybe not going to, you know, be that profitable as some of his bigger bands, but he is invested in releasing art that he likes. So we are very grateful to be part of that, you know.
Okay, okay. So a detail that is within Autarkh music has is that they have all the time has synthesizers, industrial, electronic elements into their music. That's normal since the beginning. So, but a question directly for you is, what is the pleasure that you find in these electronic elements and the industrial areas or synthesizer elements that they perhaps on a guitar didn't have?
Well, the original idea, of course, was to work with beats instead of acoustic drums, and to figure out if that sound would work, you know, because you can choose from a wider range of sounds than with a regular drum kit. But you know, Tyne, who is taking care of that role, he is very acquainted also with, you know, ambient music, and he's, you know, minimal techno stuff, and he has a great sensibility for these synthesizer sounds also. So on Form in Motion, there is not so much space for that, but now on Emergent, there's a lot more. We try to use a lot more of the synthesizer layers that he can make, you know. And the upside of that is, or, you know, with a guitar, you can still make a lot of different sounds with effects pedals and stuff, even sounds that don't sound like a guitar anymore. But since the guitar as an instrument needs to have a recognizable place in the music, it is interesting to see if we can add layers that have a synthesizer origin, you know. So we could be doing completely different sounds with the guitar, but we rely on the natural sound of the guitar as well. So and then to add the beats and the synthesizers gives us a really wide range of possibilities. So we can think in terms of, okay, this is the song, you know, we need this type of attention span. And then we can decide, for instance, in a verse to, you know, drop the two guitars and then just have some sort of ambient synth part playing there with some subtle beats. So it gives us, it's just like a painter who has all kinds of different colors. We have a wider range of colors to pick from. So that is what is interesting to us, to have choices.
Okay, okay. I'm talking about now the technology that you mentioned. Is now the technology it's at its peak, especially with the AI or artificial intelligence in general in the world. So it would be no, it would be fetch, but fetched that perhaps in the future Autarkh would use this technology for their music. It's not only because you use now a lot of technology into your music, especially for
Yeah.
synthesizers, electronic industrial area. So now, what do you think what do you think about this new technology, especially from the AI? Are using more now into into the entertainment area, into the music area?
Well, you know, it's an interesting debate, of course, and I know it's the technology is developing really fast. You know, the AI technology. At this point in time, I don't think that the systems and algorithms are capable of capturing the full scope of human emotions in music the way humans do at this, you know, or are able to. But you know, who knows what the future will bring, because it's developing so fast. And governments who tend to be you know, a bit slow in the decision processes, they need to keep up with the developments, because there might occur situations where, you know, fast decisions are required in order to stay kind of in control of the the way this whole technology develops.
Okay.
So I have no idea how it will be in the future, and maybe certain aspects of the creative process will eventually be maybe it will be possible that the algorithms become so, I don't know, that the database is so large that, you know, they can take over certain roles also in a creative process. They already can, but up until now I have not heard examples of content that exceed the human scope of emotions, you know.
Okay.
But it wouldn't surprise me if that will change at some point. We're not there yet, I think, but it might change. I don't see it as a danger necessarily. I mean, it is, you know, adaptation to changing conditions is how evolution works. So this technology might develop really fast, and it is up to us as humans to develop accordingly and adapt and see how we collaborate with it in the future. I don't know how it will go. However, I must say also that if a person so extremely intelligent like Stephen Hawking already warned us about the possibilities or the dangers of artificial intelligence in the future, then I think we must tread what's the word? Lightly, or be careful
Mm.
about what decisions are being made and how we use or how this technology is applied, you know? I mean, this man was so brilliant that we need
Mm.
to take his words into account, you know?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. And with this aspect, did you see using what you using yourself this technology in Autarkh music for the future productions, perhaps?
I'm sorry?
Perhaps did you see using yourself this technology, AI, or now the AI in Autarkh productions for the future?
Maybe, yeah. I might consider using AI technology in the future for developing visual content because making music videos is quite expensive, and you know, if you want to be in the shot as a band, then you actually need to film, of course. But you could also decide to make some sort of, you know, maybe I know bands that are already doing that, and maybe in the future you can like determine very specifically a certain storyline and then make it look exactly like you want based on the database of AI. So I wouldn't rule it out. It might be. I haven't done it yet, but it might be possible. Yeah.
Hmm? Okay. Okay, interesting. Even interesting. Well, talking about now of now, yeah, a little more from this new album, Emergent. One detail
Yeah.
that I didn't know about this Emergent is that the color of the album, because all the pics is like green, all covered with green. The cover art is green. The videos are green. So when I try to relate the cover art of the lyrics, the music with the green aspect, and well, perhaps I am wrong because the emergent in some ways is some to arise something some kind of aspects into the with the color green arise these kinds of aspect even all as I said in all the promo from this new album all is green. So why do you
Yeah.
decide to choose a green color for this new album? Like perhaps something nuclear.
Ha, yeah, you could yeah, it looks a bit like something nuclear, that is true.
Yeah.
But the where it originates actually is in the analog oscilloscopes that Joris Bonus has. He used to be, or he is still connected to our band. He also used to play in Dodecahedron. Um, and he has two analog oscilloscopes. Those are machines that can translate sound frequencies into visual representation. And these old screens, they're from the, I don't know, from the 60s or 70s from last century. The color that they have is green. And it's the type of green that you see also in on the cover of Emergent. And actually, that type of visual with the lines and the other types of visuals that is part of the artwork for Emergent, it's all uh, photos or videos of these oscilloscopes. So that's where it comes from. We already did something with it in the visualizer for Turbulence for the first album, but now we decided to take these images and use that widely, especially the color, in the design and artwork for the album. So we decided, if we are going to use this green theme in the artwork, then it makes sense to also use the same kind of color as a starting point for the music videos and as a starting point for the design of the website and everything. So it kind of gets a recognizable feature, The Emergent era is green and it's related to these visuals. And they're also the reason also why we chose to use that is because these visuals are representations of frequency. And I think that is a really interesting it's a bit too much to completely elaborate on it now. But when it comes to the lyrics, I'm trying to describe certain processes that you can, get into when you're meditating, for instance, or really, in the now and focused. You can pick up on energies that they're not visible to the eye, but they are around. And if you're in a meditation and you learn certain things about picking up on certain frequencies, they can actually be picked up by the pineal gland in your brain, which is a like tiny organ or gland in your brain. And if you practice this and it works, then when your eyes are closed, the translation in your brain from the frequencies that you pick up, they become visuals. So your eyes are closed, but you still see certain visuals, and the way they behave can be sometimes similar to what you see on the oscilloscope screen, because they are representations of frequencies. So yeah, it's interesting to me.
Okay, nice frequency. Okay,
Yeah.
nice concept. Okay, well, no, as you mentioned in the previous question or in the previous answers, as that you mean, but you said that this new emergent has more layers, has more textures because you use more synthesizers, this kind of or industrial electronic era compared to the previous one that is more extreme, more punch in the face was the first album. This new album has
Yeah.
more layers and textures. So, but a curious thing now is but you and me belongs to the 80s era when we listen music as an album, create an album, just we hear the album. We don't have a preferred song from other songs, etc. But now, as you can see, now the digital platform changed completely, and now the people wants to hear the music in digital platforms with one single or two single, not anymore, perhaps three from the album. So in this aspect for you, which song or songs capture whole essence from this emergent?
I would say Countless Kaleidoscopes,
Okay.
because it has I don't know, it has the certain harshness, and it has uh, these the calm verses where things get different in types of atmosphere, and it has this giant bridge part where it gets more like and then the ending is quite weird and extreme, but not extreme in the form and motion way, but in a so that one, and maybe Trek also, the fourth song, is the only song on this album with blast beats. But after the first half of the song, it also breaks open into a type of atmosphere that is new. Well, not new, but that you don't hear in that way on Form and Motion. So I think those two songs might be good representations of the whole album.
Okay.
However, I would want to say that I agree. I know what you mean. People just listen maybe one song or even a little bit of it. Where I like to, if we release one thing, an album, then the whole scope of the album is one. I see it as one thing, and it's divided in chapters.
Yes.
So I would really encourage everyone that is interested in this album to absorb it as a whole.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Oh, we are very close on this interview, Michel. And for this aspect, what kind of plans do you have for this new emergent? Perhaps you will embark tours in Europe, Asia, Australia, or who knows, on the first steps here in Latin America.
Who knows? Who knows? Indeed.
Yes.
We have we have a release show planned in 2 weeks in our hometown in Tilburg in the Netherlands, and we're looking into doing some more shows. We're trying to get to some festivals for next summer. But the plans, industry is still recovering from the whole COVID era, and it's kind of hard to get out there as a smaller band. You know, we definitely would like to land a good European tour as a support act, for instance, and we're looking into possibilities, but it's not easy. So we're trying to do what we can.
Okay, okay. Well, talking about one of the last questions for this interview is, as I mentioned, and well, talking about far away from the, especially from the old core of this new album, and just focus on the music industry now. As you can see now, now the people are using the music as a background in their lives. Well, background, I mean, as you can see now, the people are going to the gym and listen just the music, no paying attention, no pay the complete attention to the music now. It's just at the background to cooking, going to the bath, wash the car, etc. Something, some or the common daily lives. So now, and obviously, thanks to the social media and Instagram Reels, these kind of aspects, the music is like a background in whole lives now for the majority of the people in the world. So for you, what is your opinion about now the entertainment area is now using more as a background and not get the correct attention to hear the music?
Yeah, it is part of a changing society. You know, in the 70s or 80s, you know, you'd have to buy a vinyl record and physically put it on the thing and then listen to it, and that was a new technology. So that experience was the thing. And now everything is accessible, so you don't need to go to the record store and buy an album of the band that you really like. You still can, luckily, but you could just go to Spotify or some other streaming service and find everything that you search for, basically. So that makes the whole situation different. And with headphones and devices that you can carry and listen to music, I understand that it's been changing, and that is why I think I like to rely on, or at least to the best of my ability, channel all the passion and energy that I have to give into the album, so that if a person is walking on the street and maybe we are in some playlist and this song catches their attention, that maybe it doesn't only just briefly catch their attention, but maybe like they're walking and they're like, oh, this music demands my attention. It's so I don't know, it resonates with me. I just hope that would occur, or that just draws the attention from people. That would be nice. And if not, then it's also fine, because if people enjoy music while working out or doing something else, then that is of course also fine. I like also to listen to music when I do the dishes, for instance.
Okay. Well, Michel, the sad time arrived at this interview. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed this interview like me. As a first time, love to talk with you. It's a congratulations on this new record, Emergent. It's a
Thank
great
you.
record. And perhaps do you want to add something to your Latin American fans and Metalero followers?
Well, if you are interested in what we do, make sure to check out Emergent on the streaming services. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Autarkh with KH, or on Instagram at Autarkh Band. Check it out and get in touch with us, because we are all, we're small band. We are running all these things ourselves. So we are just out there trying to do what we can. And anybody who is interested in hearing from us, that means a lot to us. So if you are interested, please check it out. And if you're still a person who enjoys a physical copy, which actually is the best way to support us, buy something physical from our website, our store, autarkh.com/shop. We have the vinyl and CDs, and we have a number of new t-shirts and the long sleeve and hoodie designs. So, just mentioning it, it sounds a bit cheap, but we are struggling to make this work as a small band. So every support is greatly appreciated, and the same goes for you by conducting this interview, because that is very much appreciated by all of us, to spread the word. So thank you very much.